Whatever, y'all. So I want to start this new thing. It ain't new, but it's kind of new. It's basically me talking to you from the song, and I'm calling it Sauna Talks. You know, and it's just a way of me expressing myself, kind of like a video diary, but not talking about my personal issues, but social issues and things of that nature. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about is what's going on with Black Lives Matter in this, with all this rioting and everything going on from George Floyd to the young man, I can't think of his name, was just shot at the Wendy's by two cops in Atlanta. They're finding bodies right now hanging from trees, like I think four bodies in California, hanging from trees, black brothers, and they're saying it's suicides. I saw a video yesterday that was so fucking disturbing. When I say it shook me up, I mean that's what it did. It really shook me up. It was young man. I forget where he was, but he was in some little hick town somewhere. He was at a hotel. He worked for an extermination company, killing rodents and such. And one of them was he had a pellet gun, which was part of his job, pellet rifle, and somebody saw it and called the cop or whatever, and cops showed up with rifles and machine guns and the riot gear that they show up in, but they didn't come to be diplomatic at all. They came and actually said the words, "I'm not here to be diplomatic with you," this kind of thing. And all the young man just walked out the room. As soon as he walked out the room, he had on his street clothes. He didn't have his work equipment with him, and he came out the room, and this cop was like itching. If you do one thing wrong, I'm going to kill you. And the guy was like, "What? Well, okay. What do you want me to do?" And I think he had a young lady with him or somebody was with him. Get on the ground, stand up, put your arms up, put your arms behind your head. Okay, put your arms back up. Okay, put your arms on the ground, crawl towards me. If you'd say one word, and the guy was like, "Okay." And the cop just laid in his ass, shot his ass like 5 or 6 times while the man was on all fours. Anyway, you have to see it to understand where I'm coming from, but man, that shit hurt. That shit hurt me to my heart. It hurt me to my heart, number one, of course, because it could have been me. Seeing that kind of stuff makes me think of my own mortality. And, I'm not ready to go. But more than that, like, there was nothing. He was crying because he knew this man was going to kill him. He was crying while crawling on all fours. And later on, the news story went on to say, and they showed this on this particular cable news channel. If you're on social media, if you're on Facebook, only on Facebook, because that's the only way I know to send that particular article, which is how it came to me. It came to me. The video came to me on Facebook, and I don't know how to take it from Facebook to something else. But anyway, I'll send it to you if you find Donnie Chulo on Facebook, in Messenger, that is. But the story went on to say that the cop got off. The cop got off. That was straight murder. I know it's not the first time we've seen this before, but with the climate of what's happening today, they're so angry that their statues are coming down in the South, And it's partly the North's fault because the United States government allowed these statues of treasonous people. The United States allowed these statues to go up. They allowed this stuff to continue. That was part of the compromise, to let this shit continue. And by this shit, I literally mean, let the racism continue. The slaves weren't freed because, it was for the good of humanity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not 100%. There may have been some uh, notion of inhumane service towards godly living, that they allowed that. But for the most part, it was an economic thing. They didn't want to free the slaves because shit, it was making a lot of money. A lot of money. Enough to make this country the number one country in the entire world. Anyway. That's deep and heavy, man, because you got to see it. I may not be expressing it the way I want to, but anyway. This is episode 1 of Sauna Chronicles. I'll holler at you. I'm Donnie Chulo.